This is the new Mercedes SLK. Its big F1-style nose reminds you of Merc's new McLaren SLR supercar, and it's much more macho, sexy and low-slung than the old model. It's on sale this summer at prices from around £27,000 to £35,000, and on appearances alone it promises to be a really great car. So is it?
Well, just like the old SLK, the new one has an astonishingly clever roof. Now, I know that Renault and Peugeot both have super trick roof systems these days, but let's remind ourselves just how brilliant this one is. With just one press of this little button here, we convert from coupe to convertible in just 22 seconds. That's even quicker than the old car. And the best bit is, you don't even need to be in the car to do it.
Nobody does the coupe to convertible transformation better than this. The new SLK folds the rear glass away more tidily, leaving more boot space. Room for another golf bag, as long as it hasn't got any golf clubs in it.
Inside we have revealed a rather dashing new interior. Now immediately you sort of figure out that it's bigger than the old one, and it just feels more roomy as you jump in. Lots of silvery bits. Well, every lorry driver's going to be having a good look at them as he drives past this summer in his crew cab. But I quite like these little dials here, which look like they're canted towards you, even though they're not. I can't help thinking that when you try and get your can out of there at 50 miles an hour, you're going to be spilling it all over the expensive electronics. But the best thing about this car are these seats. Very thin, magnesium framed. You slide into them and immediately it feels like you're at home. It's like old Porsche 911s used to be. And also, if you check this out, this little vent here blows hot air onto the back of your neck when you're going fast. Mercedes calls it air scarf. I just kind of like the way it feels. Where the old SLK really fell short of its Porsche and BMW rivals was in the driving part of being a sports car. I mean, it was fine in 1996 when it was launched, but nowadays it just feels like it's got a lumpy ride, it's not fast enough, the steering's too slow. And it's enough to put me off recommending it to anybody. The thing is, this car is a complete revelation. It goes better, stops better, it actually feels like a sports car, like someone at Mercedes actually took a Boxster home for the weekend and figured out what made it good.
There are engines to suit all tastes, from a 2-litre supercharged 4-pot through to a 360 brake horsepower AMG later in the year. This is the 3.5-litre SLK 350. It's not quite as zingly and top-endy as a BMW 6, but it's still very good. And there's a new 7-speed auto. It might now be much more of a sports car, but like all modern Mercedes, you can't actually switch the traction control completely off. But that's going to bother people like Tiff enormously. But for those of us that aren't Le Mans drivers, it's actually probably a lot safer. You know, I could have been a racing driver if I'd have had the chance and some ability. The whole thing is much more fun now. If the last 10% of driving pleasure isn't your thing, then you no longer need a Porsche Boxster to get that thrill. You don't even need a BMW Z4. What you do need is a new SLK. It's much easier to live with, it's got the coupe and the convertible, and it's no longer a disappointment when it comes to the drive.